Yeah, it was funny when we were working on that. He's actually a dentist in the LA area, and we just, sometimes when we're working on songs, we'll just give it any kind of title, and somehow, and I think I was seeing this doctor around there for some kind of dental work, and we just thought it was kind of a funny title, and it sounded like a James Bond villain or something like that, so we kind of stuck with it. It's one of our favorite songs to play. It's kind of a funky track.
You wrote that?
I wrote that with, let me see, well, yeah, that album, the album was co-produced with Jimmy Haslett, the bass player, but that was actually a song that I wrote a few years ago with actually the same guy that I wrote that song Ooh La La with, a guy named Steve Dubin, who's a producer and songwriter in the LA area.
I'm going to tell you, man, the horn line. At the end, when you're going out, the horn line, the staccato rhythm, I love it, man. I'm a musician.
Uh-huh.
And I love that line. I love the orchestration on that. It is awesome.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right.
Well, if you come down tonight, whoever comes down, you can hear us play that. We'll definitely have that on the set list.
All right. Berkeley. I was just looking on by Berkeley School of Music.
Right.
Tell me about.
Well, it was sort of it was a funny thing when I was a senior in high school. I was skiing not too far from Philadelphia where I grew up, and we hit some really bad weather, and we had to stay at this hotel. And it turned out the Buddy Rich Band was playing at this hotel. And I met this guy who was playing alto with the Buddy Rich Band, Richie Cole, and he said, man, you should be going to Berklee College of Music. I hadn't heard of it. But I guess, obviously if you're a musician, a lot of musicians know about it. So I looked into it, and then I realized, yeah, this is where I need to go to school. But that's a great, the thing about that school, there's music schools all over the country, but I think Berklee was one of the few that basically taught modern music and jazz. You don't like study as much of the classical stuff. They sort of have a very, it's almost like they teach you how to get a job. Like you get out of that school, you can get a job as an engineer or playing in a rock band or record. They just teach you real practical stuff. It's like vocational training.
Okay, I was trying to come up with a real deep question to ask you about the Berklee experience. Did it shape you? Were you a proficient when you got there? Did it really shape you and create the musician that you are?
What happened was, I was really into music. I love music, and I think I was a pretty good player. I wasn't a very good reader. So they actually put me into remedial reading class, to be honest with you. And
I understand, yeah.
Reading is still, I practice it all the time still, and I try to get better. It's still not, I can read, but I'm not quite as good as I ought to be, considering I've been doing this for so long. But it was one of those things where at the time that I was there, I actually appreciate it more later, like the stuff that I learned.
Yeah.
They give you a good, solid foundation in their approach to harmony and analyzing musical problems and stuff like that. And one of my good buddies that I played with and got to be good friends with when I was there was a guitar player named John Schofield. So that was fun to get to know him.
Okay.
Yeah, we played in a blues band together, and John would sing the blues. He's a good blues singer. You got to hear him sing the blues sometime.
Okay. I know